Mr. Robert Reed.
Hello dear, are you alright?
I'm alright. How are you?
A little bit stressed, but that's alright. It's been a long couple of days.
I can imagine that, because you had a show on Friday in the UK.
Yeah, a little warm-up show on Friday, then in the Boerderij last night.
Yeah.
Filming for a future DVD, and then tonight then.
And tonight at the Pole in Uden.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a little stressful. You just had the sound check.
Yes.
But I gotta say, what I heard, it sounded really nice. So
lovely.
I'm looking forward to the show
Yeah,
tonight.
it's going to be good. Looking forward to it.
Well, you just mentioned you were filming the show, so there's going to be a DVD in the future?
We don't do that many shows, and the Boerderij's got such a lovely lights and sound and staging and a lovely back projection screen, so it's perfect for filming a DVD or Blu-ray, whatever, you know. And I just like to get the footage in the, you know, get it, and then we can release it in the future. Really, there's no release date yet.
No, okay.
But it was a great show last night. It looked amazing, and yeah.
I'm very happy because, well, I've never seen Cyan before live. I knew Cyan back in the 90s.
Oh God, yeah, back in the day.
A long time ago, and well, it was only this year. I've been away from the whole prog scene for a while, so I missed out a lot. And it was only this year that I found out that Cyan was back and re-released some of the older albums. So I picked up on that, and I got the For King and Country album, which I absolutely loved. I noticed there was a DVD as well with a 5.1.
With a 5.1, yeah.
On it.
Yeah.
Why did you include that?
I always do the 5.1. I love the format, and prog, progressive rock, lends itself to that format of the surround, because there's lots of instruments to work with, to pan around. And with my solo stuff, the sort of Mike Oldfield inspired music, that's the same. It works really well in surround. I love the format, but it's, with the 5.1, not many people have the setup to reproduce it, so, you know, and it transforms the album. But with Dolby Atmos now, it seems to be a format that people are embracing a bit more. So I haven't done any Dolby Atmos yet, but I'll be transferring all the 5.1 into Dolby Atmos. But I love the format, and I like to give value for money as well on the releases, with as much as I can give, you know, with videos and remixes and anything. Yeah,
it was definitely a packed release.
Yeah,
so I was very happy with that. Well, talking about Cyan, that's why you're here, of course, and I'm really curious because was Cyan your first band?
Yeah, that goes back to when I was in school. Back when I was 17, 18, when I first started playing keyboards. You know, I was a massive Genesis and It Bites fan back in the day. And I wanted to be, and I love Rick Wakeman's playing, and I just wanted to be in a prog band. And so we had a school band with my brother singing and a couple of my friends, and we called the band Cyan. And we wrote a lot of the material when I was in school and rehearsed in school. And we made a demo when we were in school. You know, we all put our money together, our pocket money, and recorded a demo, and it was amazing to go into a recording studio and to actually hear it back through the speakers. To me, it sounded like Genesis. I was like, oh my God, and I was hooked. And well, we did a demo on a cassette, and then everyone left school, and everybody forgot about the band. Everybody moved away.
Okay.
But the cassette got into the hands of Nick Barrett from Pendragon, and he messaged me and said, "Oh, I've got hold of this cassette somehow." Oh, I think I sent it to him because I was a big Pendragon fan, and he loved it. And he messaged me, and I was a huge fan. I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant! I love the demo. Can I send it on to SI Music, which was another Dutch prog label back in the early 90s?" And they loved it, and they said, "Oh, we want to release this, but we want an album's worth." But the problem was, everybody had left. It was only me. So because of my massive Mike Oldfield fan, you know, I'm a huge fan, I learned to play all the instruments. So I thought, well, I'll make the record on my own. So I just played the guitar and bass, all the keyboards, and I ended up singing it because there was nobody to sing it. So I sang it. And I ended up put the record out, and they loved it, and it did really well. And then we did another two with another singer. But I always loved the material. I thought the songs were really, really good. But they were written when I had very little experience and very little equipment.
Yeah.
So there was going to be a fourth Cyan album I wrote, and then so the singer moved away, and I thought, and I'd been doing pop music with Christina from Magenta, so I'd written this Cyan album, the next one, the fourth one, and we'd had such a bad time trying to be a pop star with Christina in another band. I thought, right, no more, I'll do a prog band, and Tina will come and sing Cyan, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can't call it Cyan again, because it's with a girl singer, so we changed the name to Magenta.
Okay.
So then that's how Magenta was formed, but Cyan stopped. So we carried on with like 10 albums of Magenta, and Magenta did really well. And I never thought about Cyan. The Cyan had gone into history. But about 2 years ago, I was always playing the demos. I'm thinking, oh, this would sound really good with all my studio and technology. But I thought I needed someone to sing it. And so I did some demos, and I thought, this sounds really nice. But I thought, I'm not going to sing it. And I'd known Peter Jones from Moth Tales and Camel and It Bites. And he was on a label that I was running. We were releasing his Moth Tales albums. And I just thought, I wonder what it would sound like if he sung the Cyan track. So we did one song, basically. He sang it. I put the vocal on it, and I just thought, oh my God, this is amazing. This is absolutely brilliant. So we just re-recorded the whole album. But what I could do with it, it wasn't just a straight re-recording. It was a rewriting. I rewrote. There was parts of the song I thought weren't very good, and there was other parts I thought were really good, should have been longer.
Yeah.
So I could take the parts out that were weak, write some new parts which were much better, and extend. So it's more than just a remix or a re-release. It's a complete. It's like there's half of it. It's twice as long because there's so much new music on there, and because I knew because Pete was singing, so we wrote more vocal lines so we could do more, and then we had Luke playing guitar, which I thought he's amazing. So we were writing more guitar solos, and the record was twice the length of the original.
Okay.
And it did really well, and we put it out, and it's, they're all great players in the band, and it's such a great combination, and it's real old school prog as well.
It's so funny. I was thinking about Cyan being a color.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it only clicked when you just mentioned it that Magenta, of course, is also a color. So, why did you choose those names?
It's because of that. Because I knew Cyan. They are secondary colors. I think it's Cyan, Magenta, and black. I think it is. They are three colors. The secondary colors of printing. But I don't know. I just thought because we did Cyan, it was obvious to do Magenta, and because I was stopping Cyan, I just thought, forget about it. But now we got two bands, and everyone goes. But it's weird because the only thing it suffers from a little bit. The only, because I think the records are brilliant and the live band is brilliant, is trying to convince people that it's a new band, not just a side project for me, or just a re-release. It's trying to impress on people that it is new. Even though it's older songs, it's a new band. It's not just a throwaway. Do you know what I mean? And so that's a battle when I'm trying to sell it. So because people are like, oh, is it just a re-release? Is it a remix? Or no, it's a rewritten.
Like you said, there are whole different parts in it.
Yeah.
There are more parts in it.
Yeah.
So it's not. yeah. People will always compare it, of course.
Yeah.
But when they do, they will find, of course, that there's a huge difference.
Massive,
between
yeah.
them. One of the questions I had in mind was, you moved from Cyan to Magenta. You've already said that. It's kind of organically how that went. But you got back at a certain point. You got Peter Jones. You got Luke Machin. How did they react when you approached them for this project?
Well, with Pete, it took a lot to convince me to have him to sing, not because I questioned his vocal, because I knew he was brilliant, but because I'm almost sort of managing Pete's career a little bit, because I run the label with him and sort of bringing experience, because Pete has sort of come to the prog world a little bit later, so I'm trying to guide him, and I would tell him not to do, because in progressive rock, there are loads of brilliant guitarists, loads of brilliant bass players and keyboard players. Yeah. There are very few good singers. Do you mean everyone can shred, but there's a handful of great singers. So when someone comes onto the prog scene that is a brilliant singer, everybody wants a little bit. They want a bit. They like, because they know it makes them sound much better.
Show that on the radio, down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life.
I would tell Pete, don't. Because it's very important to you. It's your brand, it's yours. If you're a guitarist, you can play on everyone's record, but if you're a singer, you don't. You got to be really selective. Mm-hmm. So I would say, look, you got to turn down when everyone asks you to guest and to play. You got to be really choosy. So I thought, well, I can't say to him, ignore what I just said and come and play in Magenta, sing in Magenta. So. It took a lot of convincing to actually have him to sing, because I didn't want to be another band that he was singing in. So, but yeah, and with Luke was the same. I said, look, I've got this record. I think you'd be brilliant to play guitar on it. And I said, if I can send you, I'll send you what I played, but you can play whatever you want. And and the same with Pete. I wasn't in the room when he did his vocals. He would remotely send me the vocals. And he'd just go, yeah, the vocals are done. I haven't done anything. And with Luke, I go, there's the guitars, thank you very much, And so it was brilliant to do it that way.
Okay, it's very nice to hear. It's nice how all these things come together.
Yeah.
Now, you've been performing with Cyan. How long?
About 2 years. The album's been out about 3.5 years, and we've done about five shows, all festival shows now, and well, apart from these, but it was easier to do a festival show to try and establish the band. We did the one in Germany, the Night of the Progs, which we went down really well, and it was a good tester. But the band is so professional. Everybody, we don't need, well, for better or worse, we don't rehearse very much because everybody turns up and knows it. So we just play it and. Just check it now. So, but it's a great band, and Peter Jones, apart from being a brilliant singer and a guitarist and a keyboard player, he's a great front person with the audience, as you will hear tonight. He knows how to work the audience. Okay. And again, it's another thing within the prog band. A lot of bands are very introverted and looking down at their feet, whereas Pete. He wants the audience to enjoy it. And so, which I like. Okay, it helps.
That's fair enough. I'm really looking forward to the show. Now, next to Cyan, Magenta, you've done a lot of things. I noticed. Let's not go into there because we'll be here all night. But is there anything that really stands out for you in the other things you've did?
Yeah, the reason I do so many things is. Number one, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, I love being in the studio. I love making music, and I'm very lucky to be able to do it every day, all day. you know, and the only way I can do that is by doing a couple of other projects. If I got, you know, I got Cyan, Magenta, the solo albums, Kiyama, Chimpane, but they're all different styles. So, as I said, I do a Magenta record. I get, by the end of it, I'm fed up of playing that style of music. So I can go and do a Chimpane, which is electronic, and do that, and then I get fed up with that, making that record, and then when I come back around to doing a prog album, I'm refreshed to do it. But I think out of all the albums I made, the best album I ever made was the Kompendium album, which is like a sort of all-star War of the Worlds type of record, because I wanted to do an old-school album with all guests on, and a story and a narration and stuff, and I did that about 10 years ago, and that was brilliant, because no one had done it at that point, you know, and I'm just lucky and it introduced me to a lot of people like Francis Dunnery and Steve Hackett and things, and it was really good. That was a lovely experience, and I think it's a lovely record where it was done in the old school way, where we went to Abbey Road to do a choir, we went to do an orchestra, we had all, you know, I was looking through my record collection, who played pedal steel on Elton John's track, and because of the internet, you can approach anybody. Yeah, that's true. So the guy did the artwork for War of the Worlds. He came out to retirement to do the album artwork, and he was like, so it was like a bucket list, and that was one of the best experiences and things I've done.
I can imagine that. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah. 2 Cyan albums have been reworked.
Yeah. Completely
re-recorded. The second one, Pictures from the Other Side.
Yeah.
I noticed that there are 2 songs left out.
Yes.
Why were they left out?
It was because there was so much material. The original album was like 60 minutes, and he ended up with 95 minutes worth of music. Okay. And the track I've taken out, a track called Guardians, which is the opening track on the original version, that was like 12 minutes long, and has now become 25 minute long. You know, it's an absolute beast. But I just thought it was too much music to put out in one go. 65 minutes worth of music is too long anyway, but that was what we did with this album. So I took that epic off, and another song we'd done, and we're going to release it in 2 months as a mini album with this 25-minute epic on it.
Oh, great.
And the vinyl release will have all the material. So it'll be a double album of vinyl with the extra 35, 40 minutes. Okay. So, but it was just too much. I just thought people couldn't take it in, and especially with a 25-minute track up front, and then another. Yeah. It was like, the albums are too long these days anyway.
That. Yeah. So okay. You've done 2 of the 3 Cyan albums.
Yes.
Is there any plans for the third one?
Yes. Well, you know, there's 2 plans. One is a new album, an original album, where we would all write, which I'm looking forward to, original material. But in the meantime, I will finish the third one. I want to get the 3 of them out, done. So we're working on that at the moment. Hopefully, the beginning of next year or the end of this year, that'll come out. And then the 3 are done, and then we could do a new album. I don't want to do a new album of original material until we got the 3 done. But the third one, I don't think it's going to need as much reworking, as in rewriting, because by the third album I was almost in Magenta territory. I'd already learnt my craft of songwriting, you know, so it's a lot more finished. It just needs everyone to play on it, you know. So that's what
Oh, well, that's great news. Yeah. Not only that the third album will also be you know, with this lineup, but also
a new
album.
That's at some point. Cool. Yeah, I just got to write the.
Find some time to write it.
Yeah, I know what I want it to sound like, but I just got to write there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking some time off in this busy day to have a chat. Is there anything more you want to share to the fans?
I could tell you all about playing live and the nightmare of it, but I'll keep that for my diary. But no, I don't think so. There's lots more. There's a new Magenta record coming. That'll be. When will that be? That's going to be Christmas, hopefully, if all goes well. Because I haven't done We haven't done a new Magenta record for quite a while, so that's coming next. I'm really excited because I'd almost rested Magenta. I had no plans to do an album, and but I had this mad idea of doing like another War of the Worlds type of record, which was like, and I thought I'm going to write this real sort of Rick Wakeman-esque journey to the centre of the earth kind of vibe, you know, all Moogs and stuff. And I was going to write that, and that was going to be my next project. And I started writing it. I was like, didn't sound very good. And then something clicked in my head, and it was like, oh, but this would work if you took Magenta in this style, because you know, and then it would work. So, and all of a sudden, within the next 10 days, I'd written the Magenta record was written very rough.
Okay.
So, but I'm really excited by that as well. It's just trying to find something new to say when you've done 10, 11 albums, you know, and get excited by it. But I am on this one. So it's that, a new Sanctuary record, the solo album that's coming out in about October. So there's lots coming, yeah. You know.